what do you think should be our first space priority right now?
Get back into space. The shuttle was retired in 2010. President Obama flew it a couple times past that. Now, we were supposed to have a replacement 7 years later. The accident board said, don't fly the shuttle past 2010. But we should have a replacement then in 7 years. I get the years mixed up. But anyway, we're still waiting, and it's 10 years, 12 years before NASA astronauts are going to fly in space. It's inexcusable to be that behind, to be that unable to do what this great nation was doing in the 60s and 70s, to be so pinned down on the ground. There are good decisions made, and there are not so good decisions made. A lot of good decisions, most of them resulted in Apollo. When that was over, we began making not so good decisions. I've got a think tank in formation that as soon as we get a little bit more money in Washington, we'll be looking at the good things and the not so good things, not to advise anybody, but to inform you people with simple, basic language. What did we do right? What did we do wrong? Up to where we are now. How in the world did we get to where we are now? Can't just look back 3 years, 10 years. It all, when you look at the political reasons why we are where we are, it goes way back. Politicians are short-term thinkers. They don't think beyond the next election. That's what they got to think about.
So what do you think of the various private enterprises? What about the SpaceX landing yesterday out in the ocean?
Well, it's part of a natural accomplishment of individual companies supporting what the government wants to do. And when President Kennedy says, go to the moon, okay, now it's no longer NACA, National Advisory Committee on Aeronautics. It became, NASA, National Association of Space, Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's a doer, that's an organization. That's not an advisory. But now the companies are learning, and if you got a big task to do, most people who've been around for a while will accept the idea that a private company, a private enterprise will do a much better job than the government will. So we have to phase out the government doing things that maybe are not in our best interest. Maybe they're using old things to keep people in jobs so the politician can get reelected.
Do you think that when it comes...
That's bad. That's not good. So we are seeing the private sector being able to do things. And what about NASA? Well, we can't fly because we made some bad decisions. And we're paying money on some things that are not that good for the future. So we need to change.